Hello everyone, my name is Holly O'Garo and I'm a political science major and an international studies minor. Today on our interview, I would like to welcome the wonderful Kristen Kiernan, a fellow political science major as well as a woman, gender, sexuality studies, and community development minor. This semester, Kristen has been working hard on her research and writing about her capstone that is gaining the knowledge about AI. Her work focuses on algorithmic biases in AI, especially in engaging in AI portrayals of queer individuals and the impact these portrayals have on accurate representation of the LGBTQ community. First off, I'd like to say welcome, and my first question would be, why did you choose this topic?
Thank you so much. So I selected this topic after speaking with my professor, Dr. Lori Naranch, and she directed me to an article on Wired where it was a really interesting piece on how algorithmic bias is portraying queer individuals using image generation. And really, it was just getting to the surface level part of the issue, which is that it's using kind of stereotypical and inaccurate representations of queer individuals. So one of the taglines of the post was, here's how AI represents queer people, P.S. it's a lot of purple hair. So there's a lot of sort of interesting elements of my research. The Wired article was really the basis of it, but from that I was really starting to ask the question, well, why is AI represented in this way? And from there I started doing some of my own research in using AI image generators to figure out, is this something that was a one-off or is this a pervasive issue? And essentially what my work is doing is visualizing algorithmic bias through image generations.
That's great. My next question is, what are some of the harms of biases that you've learned throughout your research?
Right, so throughout my research, what I've learned about algorithmic bias is that it's becoming a more pervasive issue as we use AI in really life-altering fields such as healthcare, law enforcement, hiring. So you probably know about this really famous study about how AI scans African-American names and brings them out of the interview process quicker than it would white names. So that's pretty much the basis of algorithmic bias, is that it uses data points from our worldview, such as like stereotypical or inaccurate data sets, and it takes marginalized communities out of the equation, which endangers them in situations where law enforcement is using AI to target certain individuals just based on their racial or ethnic background instead of actually who they are as a person.
Scary situation to be in. Through your own testing of AI work when conducting this research, what is it that you found on your firsthand experience through ChatGPT when you search, create an image of a queer person?
Right, so I've been using 3 different image generation platforms. I used Canva's DALL-E, which is an image generator, as well as Canva's Magic Media function, and Midjourney, which is a more advanced, sort of sophisticated version of ChatGPT's. And what I've found is that I've used the same prompt across all 3 platforms, which is create an image of a queer person. And it's been very interesting because ChatGPT prompts me with a follow-up message every single time. Sexuality can't be deemed by a person's look. Can you give me more information on what you would like to see this person look like? And from there, what I do is to override that function where it asks for my input. I say, create the image. And from there, it pops up using what algorithms it has, and it creates a lot of these purple-haired, sort of bold-fashioned, stereotypical renditions of queer people. On Canva and Midjourney, it doesn't ask for any other information, and it just uses its algorithms to create these images. And across all 3 platforms, I've seen similar stereotypical imagery. But what's really interesting is that when you ask it to create an image of a straight person, you don't receive this message about sexuality. And across all 3 platforms, you see what I like to call the shiny, happy person, which is warm, bright, in their element, usually white people. And it doesn't really prompt you for anything, even though you're still asking for sexuality of a person to be portrayed.
Wow, that was great information. Thank you so much for being here, and have a good night.